Welcome to our usual hovers. I'm Meeka Nomicon, and today I can play for the game K00, the Cannibal Boy, which is part of the Physical Exorcism series, where we should really take care when listening to the story of the Cannibal Boy. It may just prove to be fatal. Hello? Someone seems rather insistent on getting in. I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon. Wait, oh, is the noise upstairs? I thought it was going to be the front door. You see, this is the problem with balconies. Barely anyone can get up there. Well, that was a mistake, I'm telling you now. Hello, Cannibal Boy. It's too late. I'm betting he's already inside. Oh, there he is. If you've heard his story, you have to hurry and tell someone who hasn't. Or else, he might just come get you. Hey, have you guys heard of the Cannibal Boy? Huh? Of course, it's the urban legend everyone's been talking about. Jade, James, don't you two remember why we're in Jade's room with this heavy textbook on counseling psychology? Huh? I really don't. Why was it again? Because we need to study. We have finals tomorrow, remember? You know how strict that professor can be. Do you want to fail the course? Jade, I was only studying abroad for a year. Since when did Brucey become such a downer? Did he get dumped or something? How should I know? Come on, Brucey. Tell us what's wrong. We promise we'll make fun of you together. Oh, well, that's very reassuring. Thank you, Jade. I'm just not going to tell you, actually, now I think about it. So, anyway, have you heard of the Cannibal Boy or not? I have, but so what? You're looking for someone who hasn't heard of him yet? You know the recent multiple homicides in the area. According to a friend of a friend, all of the victims saw a certain boy. Then, a few days later, they were found dead in their rooms, their bodies and limbs gone, with only their heads left behind with a horrifying grimace. Even creepier, they all had human bite marks on their necks. Do you know what that means? Their heads were ripped off by the Cannibal Boy with his teeth. Is a boy's bite really that strong? Maybe. I suppose if you just gnaw your way through it. Maybe if you just bite the circumference of the neck, that might take it off. Hey, Brucey, what's wrong with you? You never question the logic of an urban legend. Otherwise it's no fun. Oh, okay, sorry. But yeah, I've heard about it. So? Well, do you know about his past? What caused him to become a bloodthirsty man-eater? Beats me. What? Are you going to do a case conceptualization? Or draw his genogram or something? Why not? We get to hear an interesting urban legend and get a refresher on counseling psychology. Let James finish the story. Part 1. The Cannibal Boy. The Cannibal Boy was originally just an ordinary kid who lived happily with his dad, mom, and big sister. But one day, his mom cheated on his dad and left the family, leaving the dad to become an alcoholic, and everything changed. Whenever the dad was drunk, he did stuff to the big sister. Please tell me the dad's the first one that gets eaten.
The big sister resisted desperately at first, until the dad said,
"If you won't play with me, I'll play with your little brother. You're his big sister, right? You decide what you want."
So the sister just stopped resisting and let the dad keep abusing her?
She wanted to be a martyr at such a young age, huh? How very admirable.
Well, that's what kids are like. Kids don't know who's responsible for the things that happen. That's why some end up believing that their mother left because they were a bad kid. The big sister was exactly that type. So, even though the dad's abuse got worse and worse, and all her little brother did was cry, she shouldered it all. How can a kid deal with that much abuse? Why wouldn't she want to run away?
Well, I'm assuming she wouldn't want to leave the kid brother. And running away with the kid brother could be highly dangerous.
You don't understand. When parents don't act like parents, kids, especially ones with younger siblings, will grow up and take on the role of parents. The big sister became a mother for her brother and her dad. Besides, the way the dad abused the big sister, it's hard to say who the parent was. Yeah, like you've seen it. After every assault, the dad would lie on top of the sister, crying his eyes out. Mama, don't leave me. I hate you, Mama. I wish you'd go to hell.
Those kinds of villains are the worst. I bet there was something up with the dad's mama. The Cannibal boy's grandmother, right?
If you keep speculating like that, the story will never end.
Or you could just confirm the speculations. That's why forces of pure evil in anime and comics are proper villains. You don't have to consider their background stories or anything. You can just blame them.
You know, I can kind of see the point. I mean, as much as I like a lot of these origin stories, sometimes I'm fine with a villain just being a villain because they're a villain. Like Jade says, if the dad was a proper villain, the big sister would have had no problem blaming him. But sadly, he wasn't. And in addition to putting up with her dad's abuse, she had to comfort her little brother, who wasn't good for anything other than saying, "I'm sorry."
Don't worry, I'm fine. Fine?
The little sister swallowed back tears. For the whole family. Tears boiled in her little body. How could she be fine? To make matters worse, even though the sister protected her little brother from physical abuse, he couldn't escape the mental abuse. Unfortunately for him, the little brother looked a lot like his mom. That's right, the mom who left with some other man.
He looked like his mom? Oof.
You want to get bullied for being a sissy? The dad prepared a lot of meat every meal and forced the brother to swallow it down. He wanted the brother to grow big and strong and not look so much like his mom.
I mean, he at least cooked the meat, right? I'm to assume the meat was cooked.
Even when the brother became scared of the sight of meat and threw up whenever he ate it, the dad was relentless, shoving big chunks of meat into his mouth every day. The more the dad abused him, the more he cowered. The more he cowered, the more the dad abused him. And like a curse, the dad's fears became true. The little brother really did get bullied for being a sissy, and his teachers turned a blind eye. His life became a living hell. That's when he started having hallucinations. He saw apparitions that no one else could see, and heard voices that no one else could hear. Finally, he came to the conclusion that evil spirits were to blame for everything.
Oh, a logical conclusion, I'm sure, for a child.
If they were really human, they wouldn't be so mean to me. Dad, my teachers, my classmates, they must all be possessed.
So what, you went around eating all the possessed? I suppose that's one way to solve the issue.
Geez, couldn't he have asked for help?
Who could they have asked? The useless teachers? Yeah, she's got a point. Teachers ignored it and the dad caused it.
If you tell any of your teachers, I'll kill myself and your sister. You don't want to see your dad and big sister die, do you? I know you're a good boy. As you can tell, the dad's quite the character. Jesus, he's such a drama queen.
Not the word I'd use, but I suppose so.
I haven't even got to the dramatic part yet. Don't blow your load so early, man. One day, the little brother came home, heavy-footed as usual, and opened the door. From inside the house came the familiar smell of alcohol, mixed with blood. A broken bottle, a bloody knife, the dad's face stabbed to a pulp, the sister with her wrist slashed open.
Oh, that's not good at all.
The little brother didn't have to read the suicide note on her desk to realize what had happened.
So it was too much for the big sister after all. Or maybe I should say, I'm impressed that she lasted so long.
When he picked up the bloody suicide note on the table, though, what he saw was... It's your fault. 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 And in that instant, something snapped inside of the little brother.
Wait, did the sister really write that note? Why was the boy to blame?
My sister would never write that. She'd never write anything to hurt me. It must have been... That's right, an evil spirit. The little brother's brain rewrote what happened in order to protect himself. The voices he heard and the illusions he saw served to protect the little world he shared with his sister. The evil spirit in Dad wanted to possess my sister, but she didn't want to hurt me and wanted to free Dad, so she killed him and herself. But they aren't the only ones possessed by evil spirits in this world. My teachers are, my classmates are, and so many more people. If I don't do something to free all the people who are possessed, won't my dad and sister have died in vain? There's a reason for all the suffering I had to endure. So it's my turn to exorcise all the evil spirits. But I can't just leave my dad and sister behind like this.
Oh, well I suppose if you eat them, they're always going to be with you?
Oh, I'll pack them up and take them with me. Good thing Dad trained me to put lots and lots of meat in my belly. But it'll be a huge hassle for the police when they find the blood but can't figure out who the victims are. I've got to leave them their heads at least.
Oh, very considerate.
So, the cannibal boy packed up his dad and sister and set out on a journey to exorcise evil spirits. That's the cannibal boy's past. That's why only the heads of his victims are ever found.
Wait, what happens to the bones?
It's the last remaining shred of his conscience.
James, why is your version of the story so different from the one I heard?
Huh? How does your version go?
Well, when the Cannibal boy was a little kid, his dad always locked him out on the balcony. He would knock on the window every night, begging his dad to let him in. Once you've heard this story, you have to tell someone who doesn't know it yet. Or he'll come knocking on your window at night and beg you to let him in. As soon as you open the window, he'll bite your head off and eat your body.
Well, I suppose they could be part of the same story. Hold on a sec, Jade. So, now that I've heard the story of the Cannibal boy, I have to tell someone who hasn't? Or he'll come and eat me? Is that right?
Yeah, is something wrong?
James, you wasted time telling me the story at the risk of failing the course. Don't tell me. Yup, you got me. How can I worry about failing some stupid course when I might get eaten tonight? I know that's what you were doing. But excuse me, I thought I was your friend. Why, you little...
Okay, I don't care in the slightest who the Cannibal boy might be coming for tonight.
Hey!
The real problem is that you fabricated too much of that story, James. Seriously, how could you possibly know what the dad did to the Cannibal boy and his sister at home? Sure, people shouldn't question the logic of an urban legend, but you just made that stuff up. That's different.
It's more fun to sex it up, though. I dare you to disagree.
What? Are you kidding me?
I think you're confused, my dear. Are you honestly seeking truth in an urban legend? They're practically made to be sexed up. I mean, Bloody Mary? I dare you.
Okay.
The essence of an urban legend is in the blending of facts and lies. The Cannibal boy's past may not have been that tragic, or it could have been even more tragic. He may not actually exist, or he might really come and eat Brucey tonight. That's what an urban legend is all about. That's the fun in knowing all the facts.
Okay, fine. As an urban legend, it's bound to have some lies mixed in with the truth. Nothing is certain.
Okay, I've got a question. Does this, pass the parcel serial killer kind of work like It Follows? So if he doesn't come and eat me, does he now go to the person who told me the story? I hope so, because I'm telling you now, James, you deserve to get eaten if I die here.
But there's one thing about your version that's definitely certain.
And what's that?
I don't know if the dad and big sister were really possessed by evil spirits, but I'm pretty sure that it's your fault. Came from the sister herself.
Oh? Why do you think that?
People who are too scared to stand up to bullies shift the blame onto people who are nicer than themselves. So they bully nice people and cower from the bad people, which means everyone gets bullied by some bad person. That's not the work of an evil spirit. They're all just so-called nice people.
Oh! Wait, are we getting a funky intro 20 minutes into the game? I love it. I'm pretty sure I don't know all those characters though. I hope you die, James. Only if I do, of course. I have not met you two. Or you. Evil spirits were to blame. anyone can turn into an evil spirit.
Oh, come on then, Cannibal.
Do your best.
By the way, have you guys heard of doppelgangers?
Huh?
I feel like that's our catchphrase, isn't it? We're just confused constantly.
Of course, it's a popular urban legend. We just talked about the Cannibal Boy, and now it's doppelgangers? What happened to studying? What about our finals? Brucey, there's something I have to tell you. The earlier discussion enlightened me with a singular truth. Huh? What kind of truth? If we give up on finals, then it's winter break for us, starting now.
I mean, yes, I do approve of the logic, but also, that means you fail the finals, and that will probably have repercussions.
Oh, really? I'm going home.
Hold on, let's just take an hour break. After that, I promise we'll study, okay?
Alright, one last story.
We all go down together, B.
You realize I can hear you, right?
A doppelganger, which literally means walking double, is basically the phenomenon where you or someone else witnesses your double. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Sure, who hasn't?
Okay, then do you know what happens if you ever meet your doppelganger?
I mean, one of you has to kill the other, right? There can only be one me. Your doppelganger kills you, right? Anything else?
If your doppelganger dies first, you'll die under similar circumstances.
Wait, hold on.
You're saying the rules are either my doppelganger kills me and lives my life, or I kill it and I will coincidentally die the way I kill it. That doesn't seem like a fair trade.
Oh, so you're dead meat either way.
Did you also know that doppelgangers aren't entirely fictional? I'm sure we've all come across something similar in our lives already. Know what I mean? Twins! In TV shows and comics, twins often find themselves in similar situations, right? Just like real doppelgangers.
Part 2. Doppelganger.
The main characters in my story are twins, a boy and a girl. Even though they were fraternal twins, they look nearly identical, as if they really were doppelgangers. The little brother had feminine features, and the typical signs of puberty didn't show. If he had put on the same clothes as his twin, people would have definitely mistaken them for sisters. All too often, boys who look like girls end up getting bullied. But not in the little brother's case. His big sister was extremely protective, and if anyone was mean to her little brother, she was quick to bully that person back.
Ah, you're a good big sister.
An eye for an eye. That's how the twins operated. Under his sister's protection, the little brother never felt insecure about his femininity. But he became very dependent on his big sister. Meanwhile, the big sister always needed someone to rely on her to uphold her self-esteem, and she grew to be quite passive-aggressive. If her brother ever failed to notice something that she did for him, she would get overly frustrated and ignore him for days on end. Adorable, isn't she?
Oh, okay, maybe not quite as good of a big sister.
But regardless of all that, the twins were very close. almost as if it was only the two of them in their own little world. That is, until the big sister met a certain handsome guy. It happened this past spring. The twins were both taking Intro to Philosophy at the time. One day, they were discussing animal rights in class, and the professor asked whether it was okay for people to eat cats and dogs.
Is the professor a moron or something? What's there to think about? You eat an adorable fur baby today, you might as well eat a baby tomorrow.
Could you just let me finish my story, please?
Sorry, I just really love animals. And I mean, Jade,
Be fair, turnabout is fair play.
you did interrupt the Cannibal Boy story.
There was this handsome guy who usually sat in the corner and rarely talked, but that day he raised his hand and spoke.
So, we can eat chickens, pigs, and cattle, but not cats and dogs. That seems awfully inconsistent to me.
Nah, well, it makes sense to me. I mean, the way I see it. If it's an animal that I'm going to see as a companion, like a cat or a dog, I can't justify eating it. But it's like pigs, cattle, and chicken, they kind of just get relegated to being farm animals to me, and that is in food category. Listen, I'm not giving up my chicken. Hearing this argument, the little brother had a response. People don't love things equally. That's just human nature. I think that kind of inconsistency is excusable. I don't normally eat animal meat, but that's just a personal choice. If a dog or cat lover still chooses to eat other kinds of meat, I don't think that's any less consistent than my preferences. The two went at it, and support was split in the class. As class ended, the professor praised both for their well-constructed arguments. The big sister supported her brother's arguments, but she was also impressed by the handsome guy's logical persuasiveness and the articulate way he talked. What's the matter, Brucey? It looks like you were about to say something. What is it?
You're talking about greets and hands, aren't you? Greets and hands? Who are they?
James, you really are something. Do you really not remember them? They were in our year, and you had classes with them.
They majored in psychology as well. Greets and Jade in particular were very close, but half a year ago, the two of them disappeared. What? Seriously? Jade, I thought Greets was your friend. Isn't it a little mean to gossip about your friend's disappearance?
Look at how sincere my eyes are. Are these the eyes of someone who gossips like that?
I don't know. Open your eyes, Jade. How should I know? I'm not a telepath. I can't read your mind.
Precisely. Because Greet and I were so close. It makes sense that I want to figure out what really happened. Isn't that right, James?
I guess? What's going on here? Even if she really knows the truth, why would she want to talk about it now? What is Jade thinking?
As time went on, Hans and the handsome guy clashed in heated debates over all kinds of issues. They became rivals and best friends. When the student association planned a big event, Hans formed a group with Greet and the handsome guy, and then Greet invited me, so the four of us ended up working together.
Do we never learn the name of the handsome guy?
That was really fun, but also super exhausting. After a successful event, Greet suggested going to an amusement park after classes on Friday to celebrate. However, our professor suddenly decided that Hans and I were in charge of the next presentation. We needed the time to prepare, so only Greet and the handsome guy made it to the amusement park. And that's where something magical happened.
Did they fall in love? They eloped together and potentially murdered the twin.
As soon as the two of them arrived at the park, it started drizzling romantically.
Wait, did you guys actually fall in love?
They both had umbrellas, but they acted like they didn't and huddled under the handsome guy's umbrella together. They were suddenly so close.
She just said she didn't go. How does she know all this?
I just know, okay? Don't interrupt me.
Wait, what?
Maybe she is a telepath. They stayed at the amusement park until it was dark. When they finally left, there was an amazing night view all around them. It was incredible. On a whim, Greet pulled out her phone and played her favourite song, Don't Fall for My BFF. The handsome guy said, wow, I love this song too. And they had a great time talking about music. They walked through the evening, humming songs together. They got so close that the backs of their hands accidentally touched. And then they were holding hands.
Don't read too much into this, but you are interested in anyone at the moment?
There are two I think I might have feelings for.
Really? Me too.
Is one of them here with you right now?
Yeah, it's you.
That was the moment they confirmed they had feelings for each other.
Wait, who's the other person though? Is it gonna be the twin? Did you fall for both twins?
But feelings is such a vague word. Greet didn't realize she had an actual crush on the handsome guy until the day she invited him and me to a movie that Hans had recommended. Oh yeah, that movie was so good.
It was, especially when the girl finds out that the guy she secretly loves is into her best friend. That was pretty heartbreaking. Oh, is that... Wait, was it Jade? Is Jade the other person you like? I didn't think they'd interacted much.
Huh? So you've both seen the movie already? Oh, well.
I just happened to see it with a friend.
Oh, I see. Greet recalled the handsome guy, saying that there were two people he had feelings for. One was Greet, and the other must be the one he went to the movie with. Thinking about it threw Greet into a jealous fit. That's when she realized that she'd fallen in love with the handsome guy. From that moment on, she couldn't get her head out of the clouds. Greet herself thought a 20-year-old shouldn't act so love-stricken. But what could she do? She was totally obsessed. Greet went on several dates with the handsome guy, and it was always romantic. She fell more and more in love, and then finally, she decided to confess her feelings.
Why do I got a feeling Greet is gonna go full yandere? Greet, I think we should just be friends. That's probably not a good thing to say.
I see. You've fallen for the other person then.
Sorry, I should have realized how I felt sooner.
No, it's not not your fault. Can you tell me who it is?
I can't say exactly, but it's someone close to you.
Why would you say that? We should just be friends. Those words started it all.
Hey, quick question. Did anyone else on your class mysteriously die or vanish during this period?
Oh, I forgot to mention. Besides listening to music, Greet loved to cook. Every time she made a steak, she invited me over to her place. The Saturday after she got rejected, Greet invited me over again.
Do we think Greet cooked the handsome boy?
Normally we laughed and chatted through dinner, but that day, Greet didn't say a word. The atmosphere was unusually heavy. Hans was out with a friend too. The only sounds were that of cutting and chewing meat. Greet's steaks were usually cooked medium, but that day they were rare. Whenever she cut her steak, I could see the bright red juice bleeding out. Hey, do you think I'm kind of attention seeker? Greet finally broke the silence, but started on a disturbing topic. What's wrong? What makes you say that? You know how I told you that my dad was very strict? When Hans was little, my dad would lock him out on the balcony for every little mistake.
Oh, wait, so is this the other side of the Cannibal Boy story? Wait, you're saying your classmate was the Cannibal Boy?
Hans would knock on the window all night long, begging my dad to let him in.
Plot twist, there is no Cannibal Boy. We've got a Cannibal Girl instead.
And every time I'd let Hans back in the dead of night, my dad always found out the next day and beat Hans up. It was all my fault.
It was your dad who beat Hans up, not you.
I know, but if I were Hans, I'd blame my sister's meddling for making my punishment that much worse. I still can't mind my own business. It might look like I'm always doing stuff for Hans and others, but I only do it for the attention. Everyone knows, but they're just too nice to say it.
Whatever people think about you, if you had just minded your own business back when I broke my leg freshman year, I don't know how I would have gotten through.
Sometimes I think if I hadn't broken my leg, we wouldn't be such close friends. It was a kind of destiny, don't you think? Besides, you're not a telepath. How do you know that Hans or anyone else thinks you should mind your own business? Sorry, you always have to make me feel better.
Don't say that. We're friends, aren't we?
Jeez, she always did this. That sentimental bee. That's why she had no friends.
Huh. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it. You're a bit of a bee yourself there, Jade. Huh?
Every time she felt insecure, she never said anything. She just pushed herself to the edge, but still wanted everyone to notice. How could anyone stand that? But that's what made her so appealing. I loved seeing Gret riled up, and sometimes I'd invite Hans, but not her, right in front of her face, or ignore her birthday and say, oops, when was that again? A few days later.
Jesus Christ, you're toxic!
I wish you guys could have seen her face. The poor thing was so adorable.
You are such a psycho.
Oops, I got carried away. Let's get back on topic. So, what's wrong? What's on your mind this time? It's the handsome guy. I thought he was interested in me, so I asked him out a bunch of times. But it turns out he didn't like me after all. I must have been so annoying, hanging around him like that. I don't think. And you know what? He likes someone else already.
Did you stab Jade or yourself? Oh, okay, it's fine. It was just the steak.
Greet stabbed the steak hard with her knife, and red juice splattered across my face. I'm sorry. It's okay. You're the one who went to that movie with him, aren't you?
I say whether we did or we didn't, we just say we did not.
I knew it. It's all your fault. Your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault. I know this sounds corny, but in that moment, I saw murder in her eyes. In that instant, she really meant to kill me. Just thinking about how many times Greet must have simulated in her head how she was going to push me down, mount my struggling body, and thrust her knife into my face. Oh, I just can't.
You seem remarkably excited by that prospect. Whoa, what the F?
But she just started. She put the knife down with a trembling hand and never touched me once. Why you? Why does it have to be you? If I hate you, I'll lose the only friend who listens to my problems. It was like a bucketful of ice water thrown in my face. I felt robbed and disillusioned. It had looked so promising, but Greet totally ruined the moment. You're just like my dad. It's never your fault, is it? If I blame you, it's like I am the bad guy. Perhaps to Greet, the villains in her life who weren't quite evil enough, like her dad and me, were the worst. She wanted to shift all of the blame on us, but she couldn't because we weren't completely at fault. We shouldn't see each other for a while. I need to be alone. As I listened to Greet's words, I told myself I had to be patient. Not yet. At least not now. Greet is still just a bud, but sooner or later she'll flower and secrete her sweet nectar.
I take it back. Are we sure Jade isn't the cannibal person?
After our confrontation, Greet got visibly depressed and had trouble sleeping even an hour a day. Every time she got the song Don't Fall for My BFF in her head, she couldn't stop the sadness welling up inside of her. Why not me? Why her? Why don't you want my love? Why do you want hers? These thoughts continued to haunt Greet. It had all started and ended so quickly that Greet couldn't take it. And now that it had ended, time was so slow that Greet couldn't take it. She just wanted to go back before any of it had happened. Then perhaps she wouldn't only have had fun memories. Meanwhile, Hans knew that something wasn't right and asked Greed what had happened, but she refused to say anything. If you really understood me, I shouldn't have to explain. You'd just know what I'm going through. I guess no one in this world understands me after all. Hans didn't even know that Greed was in love. How could he have comforted her? But he didn't give up.
even if Greet doesn't want to tell me, I can be there for her anyway.
And it worked surprisingly well.
Greet, the steaks you make are delicious. Can you teach me how to cook them? I want to learn.
Really? Well, of course. I'd be happy to.
With Hans by her side, Greet finally started feeling better.
Greet's heartbreak was a blessing in disguise. Greet may have gotten rejected, but she got that much closer to her dear brother Hans.
That's a good story, but wasn't this supposed to be an urban legend? What about the doppelgangers?
Who said I was done? You really can't diss Brucey for blowing his load too early.
Hey, if Greet refused to say anything, how'd you know she had sleeping problems? What kind of thoughts haunted her? Or what kind of interaction she had with Hans? Especially because I don't think she would have told Jade anything at this current point. Listen to yourself. You accuse me of snexing my story up.
Excuse me?
No, Jade didn't. What? Nothing. I just don't think Jade fabricated anything. I think it's what actually happened. Wait. Am I handsome boy? The silhouette kind of looks the same, right?
Wow, Brucey. You understand me better than my own parents.
What? Brucey, you're actually such a skeptic. Has Jade put you under a spell or something? Do I need to wake you up? I'm not sure, but I get the feeling that Jade still has a joker up her sleeve. There's no good reason for her to make up such little details. How much does she know? How does she know? What are her motives? That's the important part.
One day, at the end of the semester, Greet and I stayed on campus until nightfall to finish off some essays. Then we headed home together. On the way, I could tell Greet was holding something back. It was obvious that she wanted to tell me something, but she wanted me to take the initiative and ask her what was wrong. Like I'd ever do that. So, we just kept walking, on and on. We had gotten to a park near the campus when Greet finally opened her mouth. Jade, you're mad at me, aren't you? Huh? I got annoyed that the guy I like fell for you, even though it wasn't your fault. I'm really sorry.
It was such a shock. Greet was taking the initiative to make up with me. I mean, damn, all I wanted. But that was okay. I still had a joker left to play. Hey, forget about it. But I think you've misunderstood, Greet. I pointed towards the park, and Greet turned her head to look. Oh, handsome boy. Come on, tell me that doesn't look like our silhouette.
There, Hans was nuzzled up against the handsome guy's chest, and the handsome guy's eyes were around Hans' delicate shoulders.
I caught it! He fell for the twins. I mean, yeah, I get it. I made every prediction we could have possibly made, but still, that was my first prediction.
This wasn't a hug between friends. They were obviously making out. Huh. I did go to that movie with him, but just as friends. He was clear about that. The one he's really into. Is someone close to you? Much closer than I am. Ah. Ah. Oh. Come to think of it, the last time I went to your place, wasn't Hans out with a friend? Who do you suppose the friend was? What do you think they did? Did they go to an amusement park with a beautiful night view? Did they make out like they're doing now? Or was it even hotter? More steamy? Hans! You! Huh? Not quite convinced yet. Fine. Just listen to the lovebirds talk then.
You love that amusement park way too much. Don't you ever get tired of it?
Never, as long as it's with you. I'm having so much fun today. Thanks for asking me out.
You've been looking down lately. I hoped it would cheer you up.
Well, Greet's been in a horrible mood lately, and she won't tell me what's wrong. I'm worried that she's met some playboy who's stringing her along.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that, Mr. Playboy?
If anyone ever betrays Greet, I'll skin him alive and eat his flesh. Huh, silly boy. Little do you know that the one betraying her right now is you, Hans.
Playboy, where did that come from? I ask you out, and all you can think about is your sister.
Greet will always be my number one. You're number two at best.
That's some sister complex you've got. Didn't Greet spoil you when you were little?
I don't know what you mean, but my sister was always nice to me, yeah. Isn't Hans just the sweetest? Even during his date, he was thinking about Greet. But to Greet, his words only made her feel like Hans was using her to make himself look good. Like I said before, my dad used to beat me up when I was little. Greet didn't want me to be the only one to get punished, so she'd always try to help me out, and we would get beaten up together. That's how much she cared about me. But me, all I did was cry and let Greet console me, forcing her to say she was fine.
You can't blame yourself. It was all your dad's fault.
No, it wasn't my dad's fault. Back when our mum was around, he was really, really nice.
Hans.
My dad's not the one to blame. It was all because of the evil spirit.
What?
I knew that once I exorcised the evil spirit, my dad would be back to being nice again. Oops, did I say something weird? What I meant was, my dad was possessed by the ghost of his past.
So, you don't mean an actual evil spirit? You had me worried for a moment there.
Sorry, let's not talk about that anymore.
I'm sorry I reminded you of such horrible memories.
It's fine. Hey, by the way, Greet said she's hanging out with Jane tomorrow and won't be back until night. How about coming over in the morning? Greet told me a secret recipe.
Uh-oh. That's gotta be the ultimate betrayal for her.
What a masterpiece! When I was in the lowest of my lows, you had the gall to pester me to teach you how to cook. And it wasn't even for my sake. It was to seduce him. That's what was raging through Greet's mind. I know, because I heard it.
Of course, I'd love to go. But I'm not a big fan of vegetarian meals.
Wait, weren't you the one arguing for vegetarianism? Vegetarian? Why vegetarian?
Huh? I thought you were a vegetarian, Hans.
What? No, I'm not. I just don't eat regular meat. But I'm not a vegetarian, silly.
But that time you criticized my argument in class. I thought you said you didn't eat meat because you're a vegetarian. Are you just a picky eater? And what kind of meat do you prefer? Could it be the kind I'm thinking about?
Oh, that's very naughty of you. Watch out, I'll eat you up.
Someone's a horny boy. Just listen to your dirty talk. What would your sister think if she heard?
Oh, she did hear, and she was very angry. Then they kissed, right there in front of us. A wet erotic kiss with plenty of tongue. Wait, I've just realised. Was Jade in the first game? I can't remember. Of course, Greet and I were the only other ones there, but it was quite the sight. The two lovers had no idea we were there and made out passionately for a while.
Be careful on your way home. Don't get eaten by the cannibal boy. I'm more worried about you. Do you want me to walk you home?
No thanks, I can take care of myself, you know.
Okay, but you be careful too.
Remember, I'll be waiting tomorrow. Don't be late, or you'll miss out on the meat. I thought Greet might do something, but she just walked away without saying a word. Maybe she was too angry to do anything. But I could see the bud of her rage growing larger and redder. Greet was about to bloom and secrete her sweet, sweet nectar. The next morning, the handsome guy arrived at Han's place on an empty stomach. There, he found a table lined with meat dishes. Sweet and sour pork, pork belly stew, smoked sausage, steak salad, all sorts of dishes. The main dish was Greet's special steak, cooked rare, just like the other time.
Wow, what a feast!
Sorry, I accidentally got too many ingredients. Considering how early in the morning you had to come, I was afraid you'd be eaten.
He's just a man-eater. No need to fear him. There are plenty of vampires in the world. They suck the blood of the poor bit by bit, just to make their own lives more luxurious, and we just look the other way. Unlike those vampires among us, at least the cannibal boy kills you on the spot, and you die without suffering. If I had to choose, I'd go for the quicker death. Besides, the cannibal boy treats humans just like any other edible animal. So many people are quick to judge cat and dog eaters when they have no problem eating chicken, pork or beef. Compared to those people who discriminate between animals, at least the cannibal boy is morally consistent. He treats all living animals equally.
He really doesn't. I'm pretty sure the only meat he eats is human, so he's the most inconsistent. Sounds like flawed logic to me. Really? You want to talk about that over brunch? Eating cats, dogs, humans, blah blah blah. James, you wouldn't feel like eating if you were there, would you?
Well, I'm not a freak like them.
But forget about moral consistency or abuse. In my opinion, it doesn't require complex beliefs or tragic past for a human to eat other humans. People talk about drooling over sexy bodies and refer to luscious breasts as melons. Those kinds of expressions are all over the place, don't you think? Plus, English, Chinese, and Japanese all use eating-related words to refer to sex. We're so used to that kind of slang that we don't think twice about it. Perhaps in the collective subconscious, eating is essentially a kind of possession, a kind of intimacy, just like having sex. So if eating is such an instinctive thing, do we need to ask why the cannibal boy eats humans? Do we really need to dig into what a tragic past he had? People want to fabricate his past because they're convinced he is a freak and a monster. He must have a very twisted path. But he's not like us normal people.
Wait, isn't that like Hannibal Lecter? Wasn't his past thing about when he was like a really young child, he got forced to eat his sister or something, wasn't it? Can't quite remember. I need to watch the Hannibal Origins movie again. Do you even hear what you're saying?
What I mean is, you don't eat cats or dogs, but not because you're an animal lover or because you're civilized. It's only because you happen to live in that kind of echo chamber.
I mean, also because they're unfairly adorable most of the time. Excuse me?
The only reason you don't eat humans is because no one around you does. You're just afraid that if you do, you'll be treated like a freak.
Well, I mean, also the fact that, don't you get diseases if you eat human meat? It affects the brain or something, doesn't it?
Let's get back to the story.
Hans, what kind of meat is this?
Does it matter? Do you not like it?
I think it's father meat. I do. I like it so much. I have to know what kind of meat it is. The texture is like beef, it tastes like pork, and it smells like lamb, but it's not restructured meat. Maybe a hamburger that's 70% pork and 30% lamb might taste something like this. But it hasn't been ground. It's a whole piece of meat. Where did you get this?
Huh. So you care more about the type of meat than how well I cooked it? Figures.
You're Greet, aren't you? Where's Hans? Oh! I don't think it's father meat after all. You killed and ate your brother? What happened between us doesn't concern him. Don't drag him into this. I agree.
Really? Do I have to spell it out for you?
Well, I guess you ate your boyfriend after all?
The handsome guy looked at the bloody chunk of meat and put his fork down with a shudder. If I hadn't played the bad guy, you know that sissy would have been bullied like hell. And now that he's all grown up, he's seducing guys I like behind my back. Also, your sense of taste, it's really something else. There was a guy and a girl, identical in every other way, and you chose the guy. Why? Hans, why not me? Give me a reason. Say something.
Great. I'm actually really curious. Why you're so convinced that you and Hans are identical, except for your sex?
The handsome guy stood up and walked towards Greet. Then he slowly gripped Greet's shoulders. His fingertips sank deeper and deeper into Greet's flesh, causing her face to contort in pain.
But that doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that matters is that you and Hans are twins.
So what? So what if we're twins?
Nothing much. Just that you must be as delicious as Hans. I'm sure.
Huh? After that, Greet and Hans went missing.
Oh! Okay, apparently my Cannibal Boy prediction was only half correct? Wait, but if I think I am the cannibal, if I think I'm the handsome guy, right? Does that mean I'm the Cannibal Boy as well? What?
But they weren't dead. They both bloomed with wild abandon before withering in vain, frozen in their most beautiful moments. All it took was a little push for a normal person like Greet to murder someone and feed the flesh to someone else. At that table, she was a cannibal boy too. Greet proved that, and she'll live on forever in my heart.
Jade.
You, me, the handsome guy, right here. We're all the same. Humans are all birds of a feather. Consistent beliefs, a tragic past. None of that is necessary. Anyone can turn into an evil spirit.
Part 3. Anyone can turn into an evil spirit. Did Jay just confirm I'm the handsome guy?
Anyway, I'm sorry. I spent way too much time on one urban legend. Hope you enjoyed it. Hans was slaughtered by his doppelganger. Greed died the same way as her doppelganger. They're both worthy of being called doppelgangers, don't you think?
Bull! That's not what a doppelganger is. Jade only brought up that topic as a way to give away what happened. What does she want? Does she want to blackmail me? Or see my reaction? Or did she just want to prove her pet theory that everyone's insane? And how does she know everything about Great and Hans? By stalking them? Spying? Or maybe she hacked their devices? Actually, I think it's far more simple. She is a psychic. Jade, why did you tell us this urban legend?
Oh, come on. You of all people should know, Brucey.
Hey, what the hell is going on? Were you two plotting to scare me or something? Is that why we're gathered in Jade's room? Oh, nope, I just think you're our next target. I think I understand why Jade said her eyes were sincere. They're the eyes of a writer, evaluating her work. Even Jade herself is a jester, made to dance in her script.
So now James and I have told our urban legends. Shouldn't you tell one too?
If you hear the story of the Cannibal Boy, and you don't want him to come knocking, you have to tell the story of his past to someone who doesn't know yet, right? What the hell, man? Why are you asking me this now? Oh! Yeah, that actually makes sense if we're the Cannibal Boy. Clearly, we already knew the story. What's so funny, Brucey? Ridiculous. There's no past worth talking about. You civilized people eat plenty of animals, but you point at people who eat cats and dogs and call them savages. It makes me sick. If you can't eat some, don't eat any. If you want to eat some, then eat them all. Is that hard? Is it really that hard to be consistent? That's all there is to it. Plain and simple.
Stop that, Brucey. You've got to leave him some hope. Just look at James's face. Can't you see it's filled with despair? How's the climax going to happen now?
Do you realize what a nuisance it is when too many people find out what I like to eat? I always set an annual limit for myself, but I guess I'm going to go over this year. I guess I should reward Jade's enthusiasm with an urban legend of my own, but I really don't like to conjure things up, so I'll let James here experience it firsthand.
Well, I'm sure he was rather tasty. Well, I hope you enjoyed that playthrough of K00, the Cannibal Boy. I suppose I got my wish, right? I mean, James did get eaten by the Cannibal Boy. If you enjoyed that playthrough, I'd greatly appreciate you could like this video and subscribe to this channel. But other than that, it was spooky day and I'll catch you next time, guys.